Next we study motion in combined electric and magnetic fields. That means if a charged particle is moving in the presence of both electric field and magnetic field, now how it behaves. In that we are going to study the first concept of velocity selector. Okay. Now consider a particle is moving along this direction. Now this indicates the velocity of the charged particle. A particle is moving with a velocity v. Okay. Now we are applying an electric field along this direction. If I take this as the x-axis, now the charged particle is moving along the x-axis. Now we are applying an electric field along the y-axis. Y-axis alli ನಾವು electric field ಅನ್ನು apply ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. And also we are applying a magnetic field along the z-axis. Now if this is the z-axis, we are applying along this direction a magnetic field. Okay, like this. Now this represents the velocity vector, electric field and a magnetic field like this. Now along the x-axis, the charged particle is moving with a velocity v. At this region, we have applied both the fields. One is the electric field and the another one is the magnetic field. Now these two are mutually perpendicular to each other. They are mutually perpendicular to each other. Since they are perpendicular, the electric field and magnetic field are called crossed fields. Since they are perpendicular, they are called crossed fields. The two fields are crossed. Now, what happens to this moving charged particle? Because of the electric field, as we have already studied, the charged particle experiences an electrostatic force that is given by Q into electric field vector E. If Q is the charge, then because of this electric field, it experiences a force that is electrostatic force. Now what is the direction of the electrostatic force? The direction of the electrostatic force is along this direction. It is along the same y-axis. Along this direction, it experiences an electrostatic force. At the same time, the particle experiences a magnetic force also. Now that magnetic force is given by magnetic force ಅನ್ನು Fm ಇಂದನೂ represent ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, Fb ಇಂದನೂ represent ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. We can represent in both the ways. Magnetic force is given by charge multiplied by the cross product of velocity vector and the field vector that we have already studied. Then what is the net force on the charged particle? This net force is called Lorentz force that we have studied. The total force experienced by a moving charged particle in the presence of both electric field and magnetic field is called as Lorentz force, and that is given by the electric field vector force, electrostatic force plus magnetic force. Here, okay, if I write that one, electrostatic force is Q into vector E plus magnetic force is Q into vector V cross B. Clear? Now look here, the electric field is along the y-axis. Therefore, the unit vector along the y-axis is j cap. And the magnetic field is along the z-axis. The unit vector along the magnetic field, that is z-axis, is k cap. If I write them in terms of unit vectors, I will get it is Q into magnitude E unit vector j cap. This is in the vector form. If I write in terms of magnitude with a unit vector, it can be written like this. Clear? Plus Q into what is V cross B? Now A cross B is general formula. It is AB sin theta with unit vector. Now in the similar way, V cross B can be written as V B sin theta. Here, since these two are perpendicular to each other, sin 90 is 1 with some unit vector. Now we have to write what is that unit vector. Now here, now this velocity is along, therefore this is equal to V into velocity, it is along the x, that is I cap cross B into k cap. Now if you take the magnitude out, we get I cross k. Clear? Now in the case of cross product of unit vectors, we have I cross j is k, j cross k is I, k cross I is j. But here it is I cross k. Therefore it becomes VB minus of j cap. VB minus of j cap. So therefore I will write here QVB minus of j cap. The meaning of this one is very simple. The charged particle experiences a magnetic force in the negative of y-axis. Now here we are having the magnetic force. Now in the upward direction we have the electrostatic force. In the downward direction along the y-axis we are having a magnetic force. It is acting like this. Clear? So if I further simplify this one, therefore F is equal to Q is taken outside, that is Q into both are unit vector is a j, therefore E minus VB into j cap. V minus E minus VB into j cap. This is the total force or the net force experienced by the charged particle moving in the presence of both electric field vector and the magnetic field vector. Now we have a very important thing here. Since the electric field is along the y-axis, magnetic field is along the negative of y-axis, we can adjust the value of electric field and magnetic field so that these two becomes equal and exactly opposite. Then the net force on the charged particle becomes 0. So that means the total force experienced by the charged particle becomes 0 only when this quantity is equal to 0. So that means we are adjusting the value of electric field and magnetic field. Electric field y-axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ force and electrostatic force ಅನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Magnetic field negative of y-axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ magnetic force ಅನ್ನ experience ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. These two are equal and opposite ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ the net force becomes 0. Net force 0 ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ that particles moves in that region without any deflection, without experiencing any net force. And this concept is called velocity selector. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಯ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳಿ. Now what is the expression for that one ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, now this term should be is equal to 0. Therefore E minus VB is equal to 0. So from this relation, what is the velocity of the particle ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, it is the ratio of magnitude of the electric field to the magnitude of the magnetic field. ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ is equal to the ratio of the electric field to the magnetic field ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, now that particle experiences both electrostatic force and the magnetic force, but they are equal and opposite in magnitude. Therefore net force ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ 0 ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. Therefore ಈ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಯ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ it will not experience any net force in that region. Therefore it moves undeviated, and hence this ratio of E by V is called the velocity selector. Idana velocity selector antandeli ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. If you take a beam of charged particles moving in this region containing both electric field and magnetic field, and the particles are having different velocities, in that case we are using this velocity selector concept to take out a particular velocity charged particles. ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ E/B ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಇರೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ದೇ ಡಿವಿಯೇಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ನೆಟ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿವಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಚೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅನ್ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆಚೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದರ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ is given by this relation and hence the name is called velocity selector ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. Now this concept was first used by J.J. Thomson in 1897. 1897 ನಲ್ಲಿ J.J. Thomson ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಮೆಥಡ್ to measure charge to mass ratio of the particles of the ions. Charge to mass ratio E/m of the ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನ E/m ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದವನು J.J. Thomson. Okay, and later onwards the same principle is used in mass spectrometer. It is a device used to bifurcate the ions, charged ions ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಯ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೈಫರ್ಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಮೀಟರ್. ಆ ಮಾಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now we study a new concept, that is cyclotron. It is a machine used to accelerate the charged particle to or the ions to very high energies. It was invented in 1934 by two physicists. One is E.O. Lawrence and another one is M.S. Livingston. To study the structure of the nucleus. Okay. Now, what is the principle of this device? That principle already we have studied while deriving the expression for radius, frequency or time period of a charged particle moving perpendicularly in the presence of a magnetic field. The principle is very simple. It states that it works on the principle the frequency of revolution or the time period, both are. The frequency of revolution is independent of what? Independent of energy of the charged particle. The frequency of revolution of a charged particle is independent of its energy or the velocity. Based on that principle, this machine, that is the cyclotron, works. Now construction part. Construction. Now what does this machine consist of? Now this is having a two metal containers which are in the form of a shape D. Two metal containers which are semicircular disc which are in the form of a D shape and hence they are called Ds. We are having two Ds. One is D1 and another one is D2. These two are metal containers. Okay. For these two Ds, we are connecting an high frequency oscillator which is going to supply AC voltage to these two Ds. Now here these two Ds are completely evacuated so that the charged particle while moving inside the disk could not make any collision and hence lose the energy. That is avoided by having an evacuated chamber here. Now we are applying both the electric field and the magnetic field to this region, but you are already familiar, since it is a metal container, D shape, semicircular, the electric field can never exist inside the disk. Electric field and magnetic field apply ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ನ ಒಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ 0. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತದೆ? ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಟೂ ಡಿಸ್. ಟೂ ಡಿಸ್ ನಡುವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಚೆಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ 0 ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. But what about the magnetic field? Magnetic field is present everywhere. Now what is the direction of the magnetic field? Now the magnetic field is here represented by a dot. That means we are applying the magnetic field. Its direction is from, it is coming out of the plane of the board. Board na plane inda ಆಚೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. That means magnetic field ಹೀಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನೀವು ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ 4 ಫಿಂಗರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇದಾನೆ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಗೆ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Hence this combination of these two fields is, we call it as crossed fields. Now at the center we have a source of a charged particle, and here we are having a deflection plate. Now that is used to take out a highly energetic charged particle from the cyclotron, and we have an exit port. From this one the highly energetic charged particle is coming out. Now here we have an oscillator which supplies a high voltage AC. Now this is the construction part. Now what are the requirements here? The very important requirement is the frequency of the oscillator. It should match with the frequency of revolution of the charged particle. Oscillator na frequency of revolution of the charged particle ಗೆ match ಆಗಬೇಕು. One more thing, as and when the charged particle makes a semicircular path inside a D, the polarity of the D should be changed, reversed, such that the particle gets accelerated between the Ds. Now these are the two important conditions. Here are the requirement. One is the frequency of oscillator should match with the frequency of revolution, and another thing is, as and when the charged particle approaches at the edge of one D, then the polarity of the two Ds should be interchanged so that the charged particle gets accelerated. Now these are the two important requirements. Now how does this works? Now at the center we have a source of positive charge. It is going to emit a positive charge. As and when the positive charge is released, just it is released, not thrown, okay, released. Now at this point it is going to experience both the electrostatic force as well as magnetic force, because both the fields are present. Assume that initially D1 is positive and D2 is negative. As and when the particle is released, D1 is positive and D2 is negative. Since this charge is also positive, this particle is also positively charged, and this D is positive, it gets repulsion, and since D2 is negative, it gets attracted towards D2. Therefore, because of the electrostatic force, it tends to move towards D2. As and when it enters the D2, inside the D, there is no electric field, and hence its velocity remains constant. There is no acceleration inside the D's. Therefore, as and when the particle enters the D's, it only acted by the magnetic field and not the electric field. Because of the magnetic field, it is going to make a circular motion. The magnetic field tends to bend the path of the charged particle, and hence it starts to move in a semicircular path. It is not accelerating. The velocity and the energy remains the constant inside the D's. It gets going to bend. Bend ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. Bend ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ as and when it enters the edge of D2. D2 edge ಗೆ ಬಂದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಾದ್ರೆ, at that position the oscillator reverses the polarity. What is that meaning? Very simple. Initially D1 is positive, D2 is negative. As and when the charged particle enters the edge of D2, obviously what will happen? D1 becomes negative and D2 becomes positive exactly at the edges. Now at this point, the charged particle is here. Now at this moment, D2 becomes positive and D1 becomes negative. Therefore, this charged particle is repelled by D2 and it is attracted by D1. Therefore, it gets accelerated because of the electrostatic force. Now, between the gaps of the D's, only electric field and magnetic field both are present, but the charged particle gets acceleration only between the gaps because of the presence of the electric field. So as and when it gets accelerated towards D1, its energy increases, velocity increases, and hence it describes little bit a larger radius inside D1. So obviously radius ಏನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ, velocity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, radius increase ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. Now it enters D1. D1 entry ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಂತ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳಿ? Inside D1 electric field ಇಲ್ಲ, only magnetic field ಇದಾನೆ. That magnetic field just bends. He will not accelerate. Magnetic field ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ accelerate ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Accelerate ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ electric field. So magnetic field ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? Path is goes on bending. Bend ಆಗ್ತದೆ, semicircular path ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Once again it reaches the edge of D1. D1 edge ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. As edge ಗೆ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, as we have already told earlier, as and when it approaches this point, the polarity of D2 becomes negative and D1 becomes positive. Therefore, this positive charged particle gets attracted towards D2 and gets accelerated. Its velocity increases. As velocity increases, the radius goes on increases. And hence this process continues. The particle experiences, charged particle crosses the D's. As and when the radius approaches the radius of the D's radius ಗೆ ಅದು approximate ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, now at this position we have a deflection plate. Now that magnetic field ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ field ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, it gets deflected and it exits through the port, and that is used for other purposes. Now one thing you should remember, inside the D's only magnetic field affects. What is the role of the magnetic field inside the D's? It only bends. It will not increase the velocity or energy, or it will not accelerate. It only deviates the path, bends the path. Now, between the D's, what happens? Because of the presence of the electric field, the charged particle gets accelerated only between the two D's. These two things you should remember. Okay? We are already familiar with the radius. Now, radius in circular motion is given by, it is m into v divided by q into b. And also, since it works on the principle that frequency of revolution is independent of kinetic energy, we have the expression for frequency nu is equal to, it is qb divided by 2 pi m. Our time period t is given by 2 pi m divided by q into b. We are having these relations. Therefore, this frequency of cyclotron, we have that condition, it should match with the applied frequency of the oscillator. If the oscillator frequency is nu a, that we call it as applied frequency, and nu c is the cyclotron frequency. If these two becomes equal, we get a resonance condition. This condition satisfy adra matra correct age edge boroಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ polarity change ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, that is the condition. Now, based on this one, we can find what is the expression for energy. Energy ge ಏನು expression ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡುವ. Now, from this relation, now what is the velocity? Therefore, velocity is given by, it is QBR. QB smaller ಇದೆ, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ capital R ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವ, where R is the radius of the D's. We have taken capital R, it is the radius of the D's. QBR divided by m, velocity. Then obviously, what is the kinetic energy of the particle which is coming out is half m v square. That is half m, substituting for v, that is q b r divided by m whole square. Okay. Now, if I simplify that one, therefore kinetic energy of that particle which is coming out becomes q square b square r square divided by, here m ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ m square ಇದಾನೆ, 1m cancel ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Therefore, we are getting in the denominator 2m. Now, that is the final kinetic energy of the charged particle which is coming out of the cyclotron. Cyclotron ಇಂದ ಹೊರ ಬರೋಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವನ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇಷ್ಟಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳಿ. So, that is the theory of this cyclotron. Next, we study what are the uses of the cyclotron. Now, uses. The first use, the cyclotron is used to bombard a nucleus with high energetic particles. To bombard a nucleus with high energetic particles to study the resulting nuclear reaction. ಏನು ಸೈಕ್ಲೋಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇಂದ ಹೈ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಬರ್ತದೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಗೆ ಬೊಂಬಾರ್ಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರ್ತದೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಸೈಕ್ಲೋಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ. Second one, it is used to implant ions in metals to modify its structure and even synthesize it. That property, second one. And third one, it is used in hospitals to produce radioactive materials, radionuclides, to produce radionuclides. Which is used for the treatment of some diseases. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ highly energetic charged particles from the cyclotron. Cyclotron in the ಬರುವಂತ particles ಅನ್ನು use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು radionuclides ಅನ್ನು produce ಮಾಡಿ they are used in certain treatments. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು treatments ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Now these are the three important uses of the cyclotron. We'll solve one problem. A cyclotron's oscillator frequency is 10 megahertz. What should be the operating magnetic field for accelerating the protons? Magnetic field we have to work out. If the radius of its disk is 60 centimeter, what is the kinetic energy in million electron volts of the proton being produced by the accelerator? Cyclotron ಇದೆ, ಅದರದ್ದು frequency ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, magnetic field ಅನ್ನು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And also we have to calculate the kinetic energy. Here given charge of the proton 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19, mass of the proton ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ 1 MeV is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the minus 13 joules ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Now solution, we will list out the given things. Here already 3 items are given. Now from this one the frequency is given. The frequency is 10 megahertz. 10 megahertz. That is equal to mega means 10 into 10 to the power of 6 hertz frequency. What should be the operating magnetic field we have to calculate? Oscillator frequency is given. We have the condition. The oscillator frequency should be is equal to the frequency of the cyclotron. That means the frequency of revolution of the proton. ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಸಿಲೇಟರ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 10 into 10 to the power of 6 hertz ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. And radius of the DC is given, capital R. Radius of the DC is 60 centimeter ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮೀಟರ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ it becomes 0.6 meter ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Now what we are going to calculate? First we have to calculate what is the magnitude of the magnetic field and the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay? Yes. We are already familiar with the frequency. We know the principle. The frequency of revolution of the charged particle is independent of its kinetic energy ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು. ಆ frequency formula ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. The frequency of revolution of a charged particle in the presence of the magnetic field. So nu is equal to QB divided by 2 pi m. That is the formula. From this one, what is the magnetic field? Now magnetic field is equal to 2 pi m nu divided by charge. Magnetic field ಗೆ expression ಬರ್ತದೆ. We get 2 into 3.14 into mass is given, that is 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 into frequency. Frequency is 10 into 10 to the power of 6. Whole thing divided by charge 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. If I take the calculator and make the operation, I will get the result 6.554 into, simplify the powers. Now it is 10 to the power of 7 plus 7 minus 27. It becomes 10 to the power of minus 20. Now 10 to the power of plus minus 19 is there. If you take it to the numerator, it is plus 19. I will get 10 to the power of minus 1. Or B is equal to, so 10 to the power of minus 1 remove ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 0.655 ಇದೆ. I will write it at 0.66 unit is Tesla. 0.66 Tesla. Now that is the magnetic field. Next we have to calculate the kinetic energy. For that one we will work out what is the velocity. Now velocity is given by r into omega. Linear velocity is equal to r into angular velocity or angular frequency. That is r into, it is 2 pi new, simple relation. Now r is, it is nothing but the radius, capital R anta tagondidvi, okay, 0.6 into 2 into pi is 3.14 into the frequency, it is 10 into 10 to the power of 6, 10 megahertz, 10 into 10 to the power of 6. Now if you work out this one using the calculator, 0.6 into 2 into 3.14, now that is equal to 3.768 into 10 to the power 10 into 10 to the power of 6, it is 10 to the power of 7 meter per second. Now that is the velocity of the final velocity, it is the final velocity of the proton coming out of the cyclotron. Okay, next we will calculate the kinetic energy. Simple formula, kinetic energy is equal to half m v square, where m is the mass of the proton. Proton mass ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, that is half into proton mass 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 multiplied by velocity, just we have calculated 3.768 into 10 to the power of 7 whole square, v square no whole square. Now simplify this one using the calculator, 1.67 into 3.768 into 3.768 divided by 2 is equal to, I will get 11.85. I am getting 11.85. Now 10 power 10 to the power of minus 27. So 10 to the power of 7 square, it is 14. Therefore I am getting into 10 to the power of minus 13. 11.85 into 10 to the power of minus 13 joules. It is in joules. But they have asked to calculate in million electron volts. Million electron volts alli calculation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So 1 million electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 13 joules ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Therefore in terms of million electron volts, now divide this one by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 13. Therefore 11.85 into 10 to the power of minus 13 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 13. Now 10 to the power of minus 13, 10 to the power of minus 13 get cancels. Now we will divide 11.85 divided by 1.6, that gives 7.4 million electron volts, MeV. The final kinetic energy of the proton which is coming out of the cyclotron in this problem is 7.4 million electron volts.